is a quick lesson on what it means when a plant bolts. I'm going to use this kale plant as an example. So kale is a cool or cold weather crop. They like to grow when it's cool, and when it gets too hot, they really can't sustain their nice bushy small plant structure. A kale plant, when it's thriving, is small. There's just a little bit of space in between new branches coming off of this main stalk, and the leaves are nice, tender, easy to work with, taste sort of on the sweeter side, and they're very good in smoothies, salads, and other dishes. Now, when the weather gets too warm, these plants can't really survive in that kind of climate. They like the cold weather and they don't do very well in the heat. So what they do is something called bolting. And it's a survival skill that a plant has. When the plant can't really thrive in the weather or conditions that it's growing in, it will do something to restart a process that gives the next generation a chance. So in kale's case, flowering creates seeds. These flowers are where its seeds basically live and are on the plant. And so it will bolt, which means it will grow in size, which is where the term bolting comes from, because they're usually small, compact, and the space between the branches, instead of being a centimeter, will be more than an inch in between. So you can see there's a ton more center stalk space in between each of these branches than that other smaller plant that was doing much better. They'll burst up in size, throw off flowers, which will eventually create seeds, and the length of it suddenly gives these flowers a better chance of spreading seeds farther and wider than it did if it was a teeny tiny plant. In addition, these leaves tend to taste a little bit more sour, not as appetizing to, say, animals that would come up and try to eat it. These are all survival tactics for this plant to make new seeds and start over in the generation. And for the next generation, they'll drop seeds, land in the soil somewhere nearby, and then start to create new plants when the weather and conditions are just right for those seeds to germinate. So, bolting, not great for us in terms of eating, because it gets a little bit less tasteful, a little more textured, but the plant itself is surviving to its next stage. Very cool.